Good morning. Oh my gosh. I'm going to so date myself here, but I woke up with this song in my head. All I want to do is zoom, a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. And I was like, what? Like, what? It's called Rump Shaker by Rex and Effects. Many, many years ago, guys. Yes, I know the song. I knew the song when it came out. Anywho, oh my gosh, it was so fun last night. I just like 12:30 in the morning. I guess that was this morning then. Like 12:30 in the morning, I hadn't gone to bed yet, and all of a sudden, I just get this wild hair. Like I'm gonna go through some of my storage stuff. It's because I'm gonna be getting rid of some. I have these like collectors Christmas ornaments. They're heirloom. They're by heirloom, and I forget like what kind they are or whatever. But I had a kind of a monster-in-law of the past who gave them to me, so I'm going to be selling them. They're beautiful. They're pretty incredible. Um, and they're awesome, but I don't want them anymore, for what they represent. I just want to have joy in my life, and I just want to have like good memories and good vibes going on. So I started digging through these boxes for these heirloom ornaments to sell, and then I started going through these boxes. My dad just made a trip out here with my stepmom to bring me all my stuff from when I was a kid. And so you know how that stuff goes. Oh my gosh, all these boxes that I had, when I got my divorce, when I was in Washington, I got my divorce and ended up leaving the state. I just left a bunch of boxes with my dad. So anyway, yeah, so he brought those back to me. Yay. And so I had to go through those, and oh my gosh, though, I couldn't believe all the stuff I've got in there. I've got annuals, annuals, love letters, pictures, like boxes full of all this stuff I got to go through. And I got to figure out like what to keep and what not to keep. But I was just in awe of all of it. And I had thought that I'd lost my Christmas ornaments from when I was a little kid, but I found them. Oh my gosh. So some of them were so sweet. Oh my gosh, that's so neat. So I guess one of the things they want me to talk about is that for for those of you who are getting new homes or settling in, why can't this? Okay, there we go. I sit down and then it goes down. Okay. So, yeah, for those of you like settling in new places like I am or things like that, like don't like I met this sweet woman one time. I was going to buy this one house from this lady. And she said, my husband and I, when we got married, we decided we were only going to have things in our home that make our hearts warm up, that give us joy, that we just absolutely love. Anything else had to go. So they purged everything, like so many things from their past, and they only brought in things that, that they both really, really loved and enjoyed, or that one of them did, a lot also. So I thought that was really sweet, and here it is years later, and I'm like, taking it on myself, like, yeah, only stuff that just really makes me smile and I really, really love. So guess what else I found in there? I found all this Christmas stuff, but I got all those great movies that you love watching through the holidays. Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I cannot wait to get into these oldies. That's going to be so fun. Of course, Christmas Story and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a little early to be talking about the holidays, but I discovered this stuff when I was going through my stuff last night, and yay, I love the holidays anyway. So, when's it too early for a little joy? So, anywho, I get people coming all the time into the Lighthouse being like, they'll sit in front of me and I'll say, how can I help you today? And they'll shrug. I don't know. I was just like walking by on the sidewalk and I felt sucked in here. You know, I get that all the time. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. Um, I guess just tell me things. And I'm like, okay. So in a case like that, when people don't know what they're coming to me about, I usually will just I explain to them that what I can do is help them make any kind of major decisions, anything they're faced with. Like they don't know where they're going to move, or they don't know what to do next in their career, or maybe they've written a book, and it's almost done, but they would just want to make sure that it's got everything in it that it's supposed to. Or maybe they're stuck in a song and I'm kind of their muse and I help them kind of work through it and get through the other side. Or maybe they can't get to painting again. They've loved painting, but for some reason they've stopped, writer's block kind of thing. So I help them move past that stuff. I tell them that I talk to animals, people who passed away. I can talk to their spirit guides. I can be a medium and speak for other people, even other people's higher selves. I can tell them what other people think of them by, going into the other person and speaking from them, from their standpoint. I can talk to inanimate objects. What else do I say? That I'm a healer. So if they have any kind of physical ailments, I can find out what the emotional elements are that are causing the physical ailment in their body. So, and pretty much that's my spiel. And then they go, and then of course, relationships. I say, if you're not sure if somebody likes you or somebody hasn't been talking to you, they've been ghosting you, like, we'll look at their cards and see what they really think and what they really feel underneath their ghosting. And it's really funny. A lot of twin flames are drawn to me just naturally, and they didn't know why. And all of a sudden, we figured out, and they're like, "Oh, okay, like here we go." Anyway, so I thought I would just do in that last video that I did on how to do a reading for you and a friend, like how to read for yourself by using a friend. A lot of you were like, "Oh, well, I already know kind of how to do that, but I got some good ideas for questions to ask." So I actually thought I'd make a video for questions, like giving you guys ideas on questions to ask during these consultations. Obviously, if you have any kind of a health issue, you just would say, my gallbladder's been hurting. I don't know, I don't know why. I don't know what the cause of it is. And what I do is, I've got a lot of different ways that I see things. I can see into the body. I can see the way that it's working. Like sometimes veterinarians, or somebody bringing their animal to a veterinarian will call and they'll say, there's 5 different tests that they could run, because it could be all these different things, and they'll run those things by me, give me like multiple choice. It could be this, 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 and then I'll feel into all those things, and I'll actually like see a blockage, or I'll see pulsating, or I'll describe to them what I see happening in the body, and it helps them hone down which test to do, so they don't waste their money on a bunch of tests. Or I'll tell them what the animal feels. I'm like, ow, it hurts in my right side, or oh my gosh, I think something's stuck in their belly, or that kind of stuff. And so it's like I don't know necessarily the anatomy all that well, but or what things are called, what ailments are called. Sometimes spirit will give me a word. They'll even say blah, and I'll be like, I don't know what that is, but I would research blah. Anyway, so I can help you sort through that kind of stuff. But I get like images, words, all kinds of stuff, and I never know what's going to come. So somebody might, like I said, talk about an ailment or something like that. And sometimes I just ask the body what's going on. Like I'll be like, are you, what's happening with you? And then when I look at it, it's a certain color, which represents an emotion. And then I'll actually talk to the organ and just say, how you feeling? And sometimes they go, I feel totally abandoned, like nobody's paying any attention to me, and I don't get appreciated. And so I'll tell the person, you really should love up on it. You should tell it how much you love it and appreciate it, and like tell it how beautiful it is, and tell it how great it works and how proud of it you are, that kind of thing. Some people worry that I'm going to predict death or something like that, that I'll be like, you're going to die in 2 years, or don't walk in front of that truck, like, well, you probably want to know that, but like, they're afraid that I'm going to tell them some kind of bad stuff. I did one time talk to this guy, and he seemed like such an angel, like such a sweet, sweet guy. It broke my heart, but I could see that his wife was going to die in a couple of years when I looked into it. I looked into the future. I saw that they were going to have a little boy and that the wife was going to die. But instead of saying your wife is going to die in a couple of years, you should appreciate her, I said something, and it's like underneath it subconsciously, it's letting them know. It's giving them a little bit of a heads up, but I'll say something to the effect of, you're going to have such an incredible, beautiful, beautiful family that you're just going to appreciate with all of your heart. Just eat it up, And then also, if I were you, and I might even say this a little bit afterwards, like I'll sneak it into the conversation a little bit later, like you really should establish some good tools to take care of yourself emotionally. What have you done before during a trauma? And they'll be like, oh, I such and such. And then I'll say, okay, so you should probably have some kind of probably have some kind of a tool that you use in terms, of dealing with deep emotions, both for healing things of the past and things that could happen. And they'll be like, yeah, yeah. So I do it in such a way that I kind of have their back through that situation. If they listen to me, if they heed my advice, they'll listen to those little things that I say, and they'll be like, ooh, I better, such and such. And then subconsciously, it's like a little warning. But I will not come out and say bad stuff. If some people have been like, well, when's so-and-so going to die, or when is this or that going to happen? I give them whatever spirit says to give them, and sometimes they say don't tell them, or sometimes I'll be like, do you really want to know that? Because I really don't think that's wise, and they'll change their mind. But sometimes they're like, I want to know, so I'll tell them. If they really want to know, I'll tell them what I get, but also telling them that, like, in terms of timelines and things, it's like 50% accurate no matter who you go to. It's like it's because we have so many different, this is complicated stuff, but we have so many different parallel lives going at the same time, and we can jump timelines anytime, and that timeline's going to make something happen at a different time than something else. So, and if you're skeptical, and if you're like, oh, I don't think that's going to happen in a year, that's not realistic, then it won't, because your belief just trumped it. So you can sabotage yourself by finding out that something's going to happen and not believing it. So keep those things in mind too. All right. So here are some of the questions that people commonly ask, or that are some ideas for you to ponder. Does he or she still have feelings for me? Hey, that rhymed. What was their biggest takeaway from their past relationship or relationships? Like, what's been the biggest theme that might follow me through into this relationship even? Like, what have they had trouble with before that could affect our relationship now? How will it be? In other words, what baggage are they bringing in? Kind of, you could ask that. How will it be when we're together? What will it be like when we're together? How am I different than the ex? That's always a good one to know. What does he love about me, or she? Will he be accepting of my weight, my income, the age difference, etc.? Whatever differences. What will be our biggest issues? How do we face those biggest issues? Like, what is the best approach that I take? Like, I might say, when he's really upset, he'll pull away for about 3 days. And then I'll tell them, like, how to get him back talking again. Like, what's the best approach that he's not going to get defensive or upset, that kind of thing. Okay, what is the universe trying to teach me? What is it in all the stuff that I'm going through? What am I supposed to be getting out of this? Like, what is the lesson, or what is the thing? Will we be happy long term? You want to know that. What lessons will we learn in this relationship? Are there any signs to look for? Could we have kids together? Do they want kids? Which of the 3 options I have coming up are best for me long term? And this could be like college. It could be where you're going to move. It could be many different subjects. Okay. What is my future person like? Like, if you haven't met them, or if you really don't know them very well, I can go into great detail about what they're like, and you can ask me anything. Well, a lot of times I'll just be like, oh my gosh, they've got a great sense of humor. I see you guys tickling each other and laughing a lot, and then I'll look into like what are the bad times, like what happens during the bad times, and so I'll look and I'll see that one of them might be being controlling. I remember looking at this girl once, and I was just like, "Ooh, girl, you're lucky he's with you." And she starts laughing. She like admitted it. She's like, "Yeah." And so we can like take a look at this future person or the person that you're with. I do have couples that come to me on a regular basis. They're like, "How we doing?" Even improvement on their sex life. Believe it or not, I can go into their sex life and I can feel like where either of them are feeling insecure, and I can give them ideas on how to get past that, or blockages or things that, that they can't tell each other. I can tell them, which really is helpful, because then it takes the pressure off of the other person. And yeah, I've heard these things work. And yeah, I mean, one of my favorites was this gal who said she's really, really scared to be or look sexy. Like she can't put on lingerie and stuff like that. And her husband really wants to see her in lingerie. And so I felt into it, and I was just like, I gave her some tips and stuff like that. And then I said, this is going to sound really funny, but you're actually going to become a sex toy salesman. It's going to be that's going to be your business. And she was like, what? Like, no way. And then she just, all of a sudden, it's like I could see this light bulb going off, and she goes, I could totally see that. I could see becoming like the complete opposite of what I am right now. Like I could see totally going after that animalistic side of me. And I said, you're going to have so much fun with it. You're going to be laughing with people and holding these parties. And I said, your husband's going to be cracking up. Like he won't even believe the change. Like that was one of my favorites. No. So I can feel into like if your future husband's gonna be satisfied with his job and what he needs to do if he's not. And like, I can feel out your future children, what they're gonna be like, what their hobbies and interests are, how they're gonna grow up, what their biggest obstacles are. Yeah, you name it, and I'll feel into it. Or your current children, like if you like, just give me the age and the name of the child, and I'll tell you everything. Or all the kids. A lot of parents come in and they're just like, tell me about all my kids, and tell me where they're at, and tell me what I need to do for them. Tell me what what's best for them. And so we'll go through, and I'll be like, this one's like got some self-esteem issues. This one's kind of really scared of boys. This one's like doing really, really great. When he's in his own world and he's in his own zone, just leave him there. Like, do not bother him. Just let him do that. It's really good for him, and it's meditative for him. Let's see. If my twin flame refuses to grow to the point where we can be together, who is my next best option? That's a fun one. So I take a look into that. We can obviously look into any kind of blockages with your twin flame. I can do a light language blessing. That's another thing. On any kind of blockages that are happening between you guys. I help you guys understand why they do what they do also. And that's why I put out some of these videos for you guys as well. People who come into me at the Lighthouse, and they just ask all the same questions that I get all the time. I'm like, dude, just go watch my videos on YouTube. And then they'll come out the next time. Did you watch my videos? No. Just watch my videos. You're going to save yourself money. You're going to like I explain this to like thousands of people all the time. It's like cookie cutter. But my situation is different. No, it's not, you guys. It's not. When it comes to true love, it's so cookie cutter. It's unbelievable. That's why I'm writing a book about it. That's why this is all going to be something you can flip through and reference as we go. But those that have been watching my channel, they light up and they're like, thank you so much for telling me about your channel. That's just so awesome. It's been so helpful. And some people like totally dive in to all of them. They're just like, I want to know everything about all this stuff. So I love those people. Thank you if you're one of those people. I love when you guys come tell me reports on what you like about my videos. So that's really cool. How will our families get along? Will there be any issues there? I can feel into like what the dad-in-law or the mom-in-law are going to think of you. sisters, brothers. If you have any kind of estranged loved one who won't talk to you anymore, I can even give you ideas to get back in their life, or for you guys to start communicating again. I feel into what they'd feel most comfortable with in terms of an approach or something. What's our together mission? A lot of true love couples, if they don't do some kind of work together, they get depressed. It's the weirdest thing. It's just a pattern I've seen. So I like to ask them, like, what are you guys doing together? What do you guys both feel passionate about together that you guys could get involved with? And that always helps. Will he or she be faithful? Or you could ask, like, obviously, like, what are the blockages, or what are going to be the issues that we deal with? What's the best approach to take if we have a fight? That's a really good one. I know a lot of couples, like a lot of masculines tend to run even in the relationship, even when you guys come into union. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to add too, is like, no, we'll talk about that in another video. Never mind. Like trying to let go of being neurotic in a relationship, so that, I mean, that's like it can be a lifelong thing for most people, but you really do want to let go as much as possible. But anyway, I don't want to get off track here. So ask what you can do if you guys get in a fight. What's best for you guys to get back together? What's the best approach? And I get cute little things, like all you gotta really do is hold his hand and look him in the eye and just make that eye contact, or some of them, all they want you to do is act like a little puppy and give them lots of kisses, and then they'll get over it pretty quick. Or, and some people are like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm scared of him. I'm like mad at him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you got to get over yourself, and you got to learn to be cute about it. You got to learn to have sense. Okay. How does he or she deal with stress? Okay. What's most important to them in being with me? That's a good question to ask, especially if you have cards. Because if you're with a karmic person and they're all about your money or all about the status, it's going to show up in the cards. So again, that question was, what's most important to them in being with me? Like, or what is it that they want most out of me would be a good one too. If you get the 10 of Cups or the 10 of Pentacles, then you can just glow. Or the Sun, or the 2 of Cups. 6 of Cups would be another good one to get for that answer. What can I do to better align with my fullest potential? I'll just talk to your guides and everything, and I'll just be like, what do they need to do? What do they need to do more of? What do they need to do less of? And a lot of times you need laughter in your life. You need joy in your life. So most people are taking themselves a bit too seriously, and they need to just have a good joke, have a good laugh. What are some components or possibilities I'm being encouraged to embrace in this life? In other words, like, what's my life purpose might be one of the things, What's my life purpose can be a little broad, and yeah, you can get images and things of what, it's a lot of times it's a mixing pot. It's not just like one thing, but it could be one thing. So you could always ask that, but I like to ask, like, what are some components or possibilities? Because then you get a plethora of different things. It's like all the different ingredients that are going to make you an oatmeal cookie ultimately in the end. Okay. Which of my friends are true and which ones are deceiving me? So you could give me a list of all of your friends' names, and I will feel into each of them and how they feel about you and how they're contributing and how they're not. So like the other day, I felt in this somebody said, is he a good friend for me? And I was like, yeah, he likes you all right. I mean, a lot of people look at their friends as somebody they can kind of plug in when they need it. So I'll see that, and I'll see that they're like a total hermit, or like some people will be like really manipulative. They'll be like planning something, strategizing, and they want to make you react and they want to trigger you here so that they can make this master plan happen. And I can feel into that energy. But that's good because it can save you some time and heartache. How do I win this person's trust back? Yeah, or is he cheating on me? Did he cheat on me? Why did he cheat on me? And can I repair it? How do I get so-and-so to talk to me? And this is for strange friends and family and stuff like that. I already mentioned that. Because with the twin flame, don't even try. Like you could just, with a twin flame, all you do, or a true love person, depending on the category, because soulmates are so much easier. But if with a twin flame, you just want to listen to your intuition and just send them something sweet sometimes. But do not expect anything back. Because they're not going to say anything back. Not till they're ready. All right. How could I be doing my job better? So people come to me for job reviews, believe it or not. Quite a few. Those are some smart people. I mean, they'll sit down and be like, how can I do my job better? Like what is it that my boss thinks that I could do better or whatever? I tell people things like, well, when you're concentrating on a certain project, you should probably turn your music off. It's too distracting. Or you need to socialize less at work. Or it's usually like your boss, I could tell you exactly what your boss is thinking of you in terms of like, sometimes he's thinking like he really likes you as a person, but he really wants you to hurry up. He really wants you to get it done faster. Or he really wants you to take on more projects. Or he really wants you to be more creative. Or she really wants you to, or they really want to be more involved with you as a team. They're not quite sure, like they're insecure about their own management style or communication, so they're not sure how to approach it. Or your other coworkers, because they'll be like, I think everybody's jealous of me or whatever, and I'll just look into all the different coworkers and I'll be like, they may or may not be jealous, but here's what to do, and here's how to help them feel more comfortable, or here's how to interact with them to kind of build some rapport between you guys. How can I tweak my creative project to be better? So I have authors, artists, like singers, band members, people who are making albums, producers and directors, and anybody with any kind of creative project will come to me and be like, even Nobel Peace Prize winners. They'll come to me and they'll say, I have this idea, this theory that I'm working on. I may not know anything about the subject. A lot of these things I really have no clue about, like no experience with. But I feel into it and I give them a lot of really great information. Even if they're like thinking of who to hire or who to staff or who, which actors or actresses to hire or whatever for those parts, I can help with all that stuff too. Okay, so are my children happy? We already looked at that. What's my boss think of me and my coworkers? Got that. Where do you see me going in my career? I saw this gal recently and she was just like, where do you see me going in my career? I told her all these things. She goes, I wouldn't do any of that stuff. I said, I don't know what to tell you. And then she told me she was a psychic. And I was like, seriously, you do this kind of work and you don't realize that spirit is talking through me right now, telling you some things you're going to be doing? Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm like, I would never go to you. I would never go to you. But she was just like totally like resistant to almost everything I said about that. No, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. And then I have so many people, some of you are laughing. I feel some of you laughing because I've told you things and you've said I would never do that, or no, like that girl with the lingerie. But then you come back to me and you report, God, you were so right. And it's like the way those things work too is like, you might be told something like, okay, if you would have told me back when I was in the corporate world, I was a community relations director for years. That was my profession. And I made a killing at it. I did awesome. And I like excelled in that career. I did really great. If you would have told me back then you're going to be a psychic, I would have laughed my butt off. I would have been like, you've got to be kidding me. I would have thought it was really cool, but I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been, no. All the stuff that's going on right now, no, definitely not. Especially, where this is going and everything. No way in hell. I would not have believed any of it. And I would have been resistant to it, I would have been like, no, a certain aspect. No, I wouldn't do that. Mm-mm. But you change and circumstances change. And you like, I might predict that you're going to work for like say you're, I don't know, a dog groomer. And I see that you're going to be working with a real estate tycoon or something like that. You're like, what? That's a huge jump. But, circumstances will lead you to this person who's like, hey, I'm starting this real estate development project, and I could really use somebody creative like you, or somebody who really has an eye for such and such like you. And there you go. You're plucked and put in the industry, and that becomes your thing. So the things that I come up with, you guys, are usually pretty right on. Timing, like I said, can be a little bit off, but I mean, even the timing is pretty sharp sometimes. But anyway, keep an open mind as to the things that a reader will tell you. Okay, so like if the company that you're working for is going through some kind of a merger or being bought out or something like that, you can ask if your job is going to be secure. This is kind of fun too. If you're about to go on an interview and you're not sure how that's going to go or if you're going to get the job, I can feel into whether you're going to get the job or not. What are the chances? How many people you're competing against? I could tell you what the people who are interviewing you think of you. So I just did this for somebody recently also, and she's like, I have an interview coming up Thursday, and then I have this other opportunity. And it was like such a difference between the two advices I gave them. I was like, with one of them, I said, do not hardly crack a smile. Like, it's got to be like very almost militaristic. You need to stand upright or sit upright. I said, bring a clipboard. For some reason, that visual is going to help them see you in that position. They're going to run down a list of things, and you need to be just very direct, straightforward, and this and that. And I said, you're going to be excited sometimes, and you're going to want to spout out like, oh, that's totally what I would do. Like, you're going to want to agree with them and interrupt them, but do not interrupt them. Just show them with your eyes, yes, I could totally do that. That sounds awesome. You know what I mean? Like, do it with your gestures, not with your words. And just be confident. Be very confident. And then then she's like, well, what about this other job? We went and looked at that. And I was like, oh my gosh, total opposite. Be silly, be funny, be goofy, be like totally yourself. They want to know that you're a good team player, that you'll get along great with other people. So come in with a bunch of stories to share about what you could, things that you've dealt with in terms of conflict at work and how you've brought everybody together, stuff like that. So it could be a really, really good thing to go to a psychic like me before you go to a job interview. It can be like the difference between night and day. And you can go in with a lot more confidence, knowing just what you're doing. Okay. Of all these different career choices, which is the best? Also, of all the different options I have for where to live, or all these different job opportunities, which one would be the best one to take? Do you see another option even? Is there something I'm not thinking of? What will my daughter think of him or her? How will they adapt? What's the best way to introduce them? And yeah, trying to think of. Some people ask me like, what does my animal need? Sometimes the animals want fresher water or different food. They're kind of tired of the same food. Some of them want to be warmer, like they're kind of cold, and so they want like a heating pad or like a warm blanket or something that's like cushy, cozy. Some of them want to be hidden, so they want like a little box underneath the bed or up really high so they can be away. And kind of feel a little bit more safe and a little bit more protected. Work, love. Those are like the biggest categories. Or some people like worry about money. Am I going to start making money in my business? I can give them ideas to take their business to the next level or to improve, to start like, start putting out regular newsletters or start, doing some advertising or start, then they'll say, should I advertise here, here, or here? And then I'll tell them which one feels best to me. Just as we go along, you can just ask a question, then ask questions about whatever it is that I say as well. You can really, really get to know, even if you don't know the guy that you're going to meet, you can ask so many different questions about that. Like, she can be like, oh, well, what will he, I don't know. I mean, it just goes on. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's just limitless possibilities, really. But those are some ideas that maybe you hadn't or wouldn't have thought of. And if you guys have any other like good questions that you want to contribute to everybody else down below that I didn't think of, feel free to list those, because we might have other readers or other people who want to go get readings. And maybe your question that you've asked before that you've gotten a lot of really great answers from could really help somebody. All right. Have a beautiful day, guys, and I'll talk to you later.